What's good, everybody? Today we are back with another NBA video. In this video, we're going to be talking about major injuries going into the NBA playoffs. Now, some of these injuries will probably take effect during the playoffs and probably change the outlook of who's going to win it all or not, right? So today I'm going to go conference by conference, team by team, player by player on which player was dealing with injuries recently and going into the playoffs, potentially, still dealing with these injuries. So for starters, we're going to start off with the Eastern Conference, and we're going to go ahead and start off with the first seeded Pistons, who got that on lock. Now, one of the guys we want to talk about is Cade Cunningham, who recently had a collapsed lung 3 weeks ago, but he just recently came back. So he's going to be good to go for the playoffs, as you can see. So he has been playing a good amount of minutes, not compared to like the 30 minutes he's been playing prior. But, he came back playing 26, 28 minutes. Hopefully the lung injury doesn't affect him in terms of playing long minutes in the playoffs, because his team is really going to need him. Next Pistons player we're going to talk about is Tobias Harris. Now, he's been dealing with lingering left hip strain since January. So he's been pretty in and out of the rotation as of recently with these hip injuries, but I think it shouldn't affect him too much, because this is where the start of the season, or where he started dealing with these hip injuries. And, he's been in and out, but I don't think it should be like a huge red flag for Tobias. Next Piston will be Isaiah Stewart. He did come back from a left calf strain that he suffered on March 15th. And he's been out of the rotation ever since then. He's consistently been playing 20 plus minutes. He came back, but not the same 20 minutes that he played prior. So we ought to see how his minutes will look in the playoffs, and if that injury is gonna affect him during that time. And the last Piston we'll talk about is Caris LeVert. He's been dealing with knee injuries pretty much all year round, and I mean this was just him being sick for like, I don't know, 8 games or so. I don't know what he was sick with, but all the other injuries is pretty much just like knee injuries that he was dealing with all year round. But I don't think it's going to be another major injury that will affect him. Who knows how many minutes he's going to play in the playoffs, considering he only plays like 15 to 20. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it for the Pistons. Next team we'll talk about is the Celtics. And right now, obviously we know his past, that he just came back from an Achilles tear. And to be honest, I don't know if it will affect him much, considering he's been playing close to 40 to pretty much close to 40 minutes. He's been ramping up every game. He's been shooting better from game to game, and I think it really just depends how locked in he'll be. But I had to include Jason Tatum just because he came back from a major injury, which took out Tyrese Halliburton, and he's still not back yet, obviously, because his team sucks. But it takes major guts for like a guy Jason Tatum, to come back from an Achilles tear just a year ago. And the last Celtic I'm concerned about is Nikola Vucevic. He just came back from a fractured finger in his right hand, which is his shooting hand. And this was the injury prior to that, that fractured hand or that fractured finger. And who knows how well this could affect his jump shot during the playoffs. I mean, he came back. He hasn't been shooting too pretty as I see, but we'll see if it just lingers on and affects his jump shot. Next team we'll talk about is the Knicks. They don't have really any major concerns about their key starters, but one of the guys will be Mitchell Robinson. Now, as we know, he's been dealing with ankle issues pretty much his whole career, damn near. And yeah, this year is all the DNPs is just in and out of the lineup, just coming with ankle injuries, and usually that happens damn near every year with Mitchell Robinson. But that's just like a key pattern that I've seen from time to time. But I think him in the postseason, he's really an X factor when it comes to guarding other bigs. Now, the next Knicks player I want to talk about is Deuce McBride, aka Miles McBride. Obviously, he's been dealing with a pelvic surgery. He just came back from pelvic core muscle surgery and missed multiple games with a left ankle sprain. To be honest, when he's in the lineup with the Knicks, he plays an X factor coming off the bench, man. He really is that spark that they need. And I think just the DNPs coming close to the playoffs it's just a real concern. So we'll see if that just affects his play and how many minutes he could play for the Knicks. Now the next player I want to bring up is Landry Shamet. I know he doesn't play that much minutes, but as of right now, he has been getting some minutes. But all year round, he's been having right knee issues. He's had like a contusion in his right knee, and it takes some time to heal. So pretty much he's going to be playing pretty banged up as of lately, and he's going to go into the playoffs just not 100%. Now next team we're going to talk about is the Cavaliers. My goodness, I can't believe how many injuries these guys are facing. Starting with James Harden, it makes sense. Like, these guys never, like, their starting five pretty much barely play with each other at all. But with James Harden, you know, he's had a fractured right thumb. He's pretty much playing with it. Like, good thing he's lefty, right? And he only needs his left hand to shoot. But yeah, that fractured right thumb will probably affect him in terms of like dribbling or whatever going into the playoffs. And yeah, that's just something to be on the lookout for. And the next guy would be Evan Mobley. He's been dealing with a left calf strain that's just been nagging him all year. He has been recently playing, but these are like the DNPs from the start of the year, from end of January to February. And like all the DNPs that's been coming around has literally just been his calf. So hopefully that doesn't take effect in the playoff coming soon. Next calf we're going to talk about is Jarrett Allen. He's been dealing with right knee tendonitis for basically lately in the season, and my goodness, look at all the DNPs. It's been flaring out, and the Cavs, they need Jarrett Allen, especially Mobley. They need him to cover the paint. I know this guy in the playoffs, he's Mr. The lights are too bright, but if we're being honest, the defense isn't that good when it's just Mobley out there playing a five. They're gonna need their big man alongside Evan Mobley if they want to be able to defend the paint. Next player we're going to talk about is Jalen Tyson. This guy has been recently dealing with like a left toe bruise, a bone bruise in his left toe. So yeah, this recently just started happening, getting a lot of DNPs. He is back though. He did play in the Atlanta game just recently, but who knows if this is going to take an effect in his performance in the playoff. Yeah, this guy has been also a key factor for the Cavaliers. That's been really good for them. Next guy is the Cavaliers shooter, Sam Merrill. He's been dealing with a nagging left hamstring, and we know left hamstrings or hamstring injuries in general are just not appealing at all. But that's just what he's been dealing with. Hopefully that doesn't affect his shooting come playoff time as well. And I think we all know Max Strus. Some of us probably forgot that he's on the Cavaliers. He just recently came back, you know, from a left foot injury after getting surgery, but he still misses time after getting that surgery of just missing majority of the year. So he won't be 100%. If I'm gonna be honest, he's not gonna be 100%. And obviously with Lonzo, he's not even with the team no more. This guy's doing podcasts. He got affected with injuries as well if you want to add him onto this Cavs list, but that's pretty much the end of it. Moving on to the next team will be the Atlanta Hawks, and surprisingly, their only injury that they're dealing with is Jonathan Kuminga. This is the only guy that's been dealing with injuries as of recently. He's been dealing with a left knee bone bruise all year pretty much, getting DNPs from time to time. But to be honest, I think the Hawks do perfectly fine without him. Obviously, he does put him some work in the rotation, but it's not like he's like a crazy plus onto this Hawks team. But yeah, that's pretty much the only injury the Hawks are dealing with, and it kind of makes sense why they're on a hot streak right now and they're clicking with their lineup, because I think that chemistry really built up over time, just not missing games. So with the Raptors, next is still Manuel Quickley, and this guy, he's been dealing with injuries with a right foot plantar fasciitis. It sounds crazy when I looked it up, but yeah, he's been getting DNPs recently, not the same amount of minutes that he came back with after the injury. So yeah, this is like a new one that's been nagging at the end of March and coming April. So we'll see if this affects his play already in the playoffs. I mean, his play hasn't been that crazy when he was healthy. So I can only imagine with a nagging injury like that in his right foot. And next Raptor player we'll be talking about is Jakob Poeltl. This guy's been dealing with injuries pretty much all year. It's been a lower back injury for this guy. Consistent DNPs. That's why Colin Murray-Boyles has been like taking more minutes. Playing the 5, playing small ball. They kind of really needed it. It's not like he plays like a crazy amount of minutes as of recently. But yeah, if he's just dealing with nagging back injuries coming in the postseason, I'd be surprised how many minutes he actually comes when it's crunch time. Now moving on, we got the Orlando Magic. As of recently, we got Anthony Black. He's been dealing with an oblique injury just recently, and he just came back. He has been playing under 20 minutes a game as of late, comparing to the minutes where he used to play like 30 plus minutes and was a key factor for this Orlando Magic. But he's fighting through it right now. Now next, if it isn't Franz Wagner himself, this guy, it's every year with this guy if we're being honest. He dealt with a serious left high ankle sprain majority of the year. Like his whole 2025 season was pretty much red, DNPs. I don't know if this guy is gonna sabotage the Magic coming into the play-in. I don't even know if if they make it into the postseason. If we're being honest, the Magic have not been looking that good as of late, probably because of these key injuries. But that's just something to be monitoring about. All right, next team we're gonna talk about is the 76ers. Some of us like this. To be honest, they don't have that many injuries. It's only 2 guys, but it's 2 major guys. Now, one of them is starting with Tyrese Maxey. He just came back dealing with a right finger tendon strain. So who knows if this is going to be affecting his shooting coming forward. Like, he has some decent splits right after the strain in his finger. I mean, who knows? I think he'll fight through it. He'll be a dog, but as of right now, I don't think he has been shooting that crazy from 3 lately. And of course, it wouldn't be an injury video if we wouldn't talk about this guy, Joel Embiid. As of right now, he got surgery with appendicitis. So he's probably only going to be out for like a couple days. He should be back come playoff time anyway. Probably during coming back for the play-in, because I think it takes like a couple days to heal from that. All season, he's been dealing with knee issues. You know, it's just been a normal thing with Joel Embiid and his knees. Also, oblique injuries as well has been a concern with him. But yeah, this guy, he's always a guy that you gotta, you know, watch out. And he pretty much never plays healthy in the playoffs anyway. Now, next team we'll talk about is the Charlotte Hornets, one of the hottest teams in the league. Starting off with Brandon Miller. As you can see, he when he plays, he usually has that shoulder wrapped up a ton, but he's been playing through it. He's been playing through a left shoulder pain as of lately. You know, he got it all taped up, but in the beginning of the year, it could affect his shooting from time to time, but at least it's not his shooting shoulder, you know. Now, next player we're going to talk about is my boy Kobe White. Even with the Bulls, he's been dealing with calf injuries, and it kind of carried on to the Hornets. He did sit out like a couple games for the Hornets with these calf strains, and I think as of right now, he's just going to be in the mix of the rotation. It's not going to be any nagging major injuries to like now affect him that much, but you know, yeah. Well, when it comes to playoff minutes, who knows if his minutes will go up or it will go down. You know, we'll see. We'll see how Charles Lee's rotation will look like. Now, last one for the Hornets is Grant Williams. Now, this guy, he just came back from knee surgery in January. So he's been on and off for the Hornets. He has been getting some minutes, like 22 minutes a game. He's been on and off pretty much, but his veteran presence, he will try to fight through that knee issue, and just, he won't be 100%, but he will definitely be playing. For the last team in the East, it's the Miami Heat. And pretty much no one's dealing with any recently injuries for them. So they're pretty much good to go for their playing journey. I mean, it was really just, you know, I guess Tyler Hero that just came back from, you know, his ankle surgery, but he's been playing more recently. And also Norman Powell, he's just dealt with like growing things, but it hasn't been nothing major, and he's pretty much good to go. So next on our list, we will be talking about the Western Conference. Now, starting off with the recent champions, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. They don't have that much injuries, but we'll start off with Isaiah Hartenstein, who's been dealing with calf strains pretty much all year, which is why the DNPs are occurring. So yeah, the calf strains has been a reoccurring injury that makes him sit out a couple games. So we'll see. I think he'll definitely play through it, but won't be 100%. The next guy we'll bring up is, of course, Jalen Williams. I've been dealing with hamstrings all year round, which is all the DNPs that's been showing up right here. So from time to time, yeah, he'll be dealing with hamstrings. So probably not 100% going into the playoffs. Hopefully that doesn't reoccur during the postseason, especially if they make him play major minutes. Now going into the Spurs, of course, they have no concerning injuries going into the playoffs. The only ones that people are concerned about is how many minutes will Wemby be playing? Like, can he play 40 minutes a night? That's the only concern that people have, pretty much. But yeah, everyone seems to be healthy going into the playoffs. But the next team, they do got injuries, and it's the Denver Nuggets. Now, if we talk about a team dealing with hammies, it's the Denver Nuggets, starting with Peyton Watson. Been dealing with a hamstring injury, a major one. And he's been trying to, come back. But I don't know if he's like his regular self. He's been not shooting that good as of lately and still been getting DNPs as of recently. But he'll for sure be out there trying to play, but he will not be 100%. And another Nugget player dealing with hamstring injuries is Aaron Gordon. He's been dealing with them for a majority of the season, getting a lot of DNPs as of lately, but he'll still play for it. He's still a dog. He'll definitely try to play 40 minutes a night. I mean, he just did recently against the Spurs, which they won. And I think he won't be 100%, but he's good enough where he'll still impact for the Nuggets. And last one for the Denver Nuggets will be Spencer Jones. He actually plays a good amount of minutes for the Nuggets. He plays 22 minutes a night. But this is another guy who does deal with hamstring injuries as of lately. That's why he's been out. Missed 5 straight games, and yeah, who knows if he will be 100% or even be playing. Now, next team we're gonna talk about is the LA Lakers. And man, Lakers fans, turn around, man, because this might be the end of your season. Luka Doncic dealing with a hamstring. Yeah, those hamstring injuries are a concern for the whole league, right? But Luka, he just recently went through a hamstring in the OKC game. And yeah, he's been missing games ever since. Apparently he went to Europe trying to get treatment to rush back to go and play in the playoffs. Hopefully this doesn't affect him if he does try to come back and he doesn't strain it again, which could probably alter his career. Now, the first out player of the playoffs will be Austin Reeves. I think for sure that he'll be out for the playoffs. He just dealt with a grade 2 oblique strain. Same game in the OKC where he got brought out. He'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Who knows? I mean, if they make it past the first round, will he be able to make it back in the middle of the second? Who knows? But I feel like this Lakers team, they're too beat up. Even if they go ahead and play the Nuggets or the Rockets, I think they're gonna most likely play the Rockets or the Timberwolves. I think they lose, but that's for another day to talk about it. Next Lakers player we'll talk about is Marcus Smart. Apparently he was recently dealt with a right ankle contusion. So this is what all the DNPs are pretty much is that left ankle, but I think he should be able to play. I don't think he's 100%. He played 18 minutes recently in the Phoenix game, but which it was a blowout, so they took him out early. I think he should be able to be good to go for the playoff. Now, the last Laker player we'll talk about is Jackson Hayes. This is like a recently thing. He's got 3 DNPs in the last 3 games. Apparently he's dealing with a left foot soreness. So could this just be him resting? Or is there something to be concerned about in his left foot? I won't know. I'm gonna keep an open mind and say he does go into playoffs and does play. But if not, then you'll know it's probably a left foot thing. Now, next team we'll talk about is the Rockets. We'll keep it short and simple. Pretty much Fred VanVleet. He tore his ACL before the season even began, so of course he's not going to be playing. The next Rocket we'll be talking about is Steven Adams, who will be out for the playoffs as well because he just got ankle surgery just recently. And yeah, he's been gone since January 20th. But the last Rocket player we'll talk about is Dorian Finney-Smith. Apparently he came into the season with ankle surgery. He hasn't been seen in the last couple games, just getting DNPs, not because he's hurt, but because he just hasn't been good. I don't think he came back the same after that ankle surgery. So that pretty much took a toll in his play. But I think it's someone to mention considering they paid him like $20 million a year. That's just a guy that you probably won't be seeing that much come playoff time. Next team we'll talk about is the Timberwolves. Now, Anthony Edwards, I don't know if you've been recently watching him. It looked like he's been dealing with a right knee injury. I can't tell if it was a right knee or left knee, but he is dealing with knee injuries, and it's been a thing for over a month. He's been in and out of the lineup, but he's been playing through it. He's definitely not 100%. I mean, last game he did shoot pretty well against Houston. It will be something to be concerned about going into the playoffs. Last Wolf player we'll talk about is Jaden McDaniels. Now this has come to an occurrence just recently with the DNPs. I think he should be good come playoff time, considering last game he played 35 minutes, but it's just been a left knee thing that he's gotten DNPs for. So like 6 straight games with the knee. Good sign that he'll probably play, considering he played 35 minutes last game, but I don't think he'll be 100%. Now next team we'll talk about is the Suns, starting with Grayson Allen. His last game just recently, he got checked out against the Lakers. They got blown out, but yeah, he got checked out with a hamstring injury and never returned to the game. So I think going into the play-in, yeah, no Grayson Allen. Who knows, man? Those hamstring injuries are not to be played with. Next player we'll talk about is the Suns center, Mark Williams. Now he's been dealing with a left foot stress reaction this past couple months, and yeah, the DNPs pretty much show. But he did play last game, trying to play through it. Who knows what his percentage is? Probably definitely not 100%, as I keep saying. But yeah, this is a guy to monitor. Now I feel like we got to talk about Jalen Green, because Jalen Green, he's been dealing with hamstring injuries all year pretty much. But as of right now, it looks pretty good. I mean, he's been back for over a month now, so it shouldn't be a major concern or major red flag, because I think he's pretty sure like he's healed up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then obviously with Dylan Brooks, he dealt with the injury as well, but you know, he's good to go, so that's why I'm not going to add him in this video. Now next team we're going to talk about is the Trailblazers, and my goodness, they have a long list of injuries. They really got affected with injuries all year, so we're going to go ahead and make this brief and short, starting with Denny, who's been dealing with low back spasms or low back strains pretty much all year, and his play has not been good ever since he's been dealing with these back injuries. Majority of the times he'll have more free throws made than field goals made, and he's just been having some poor shooting nights. Next we'll talk about is Jeremy Grant. He's out with a right half calf strains. Now he's been dealing with calf strains, pretty much scary thing considering they kind of connect to like Achilles injuries as well. So he hasn't been playing for the last 6 games. Who knows if he's going to play in the play-in game, and who knows if they make the playoffs. Next player has been Shaedon Sharpe. He's been also a guy who's been out with DNPs a lot. Recently it's been out with a left fibula stress reaction, so that's not fun. He did play last game, only 15 minutes though, against the Lakers. Robert Williams is the next guy. This is a guy that's just been dealing with injuries his late career already. It's always a neat thing with him. He's just in and out of the rotation, but when he is healthy, he's very effective, really good. So hopefully that doesn't come across them in the play-in time. Another guy we'll talk about is Vic Krejci, who they traded for from the Atlanta Hawks. And this guy, he was supposed to be like one of their shooters. He was pretty good. He played a decent amount of minutes over there, like 15 to 20 minutes. But as of recently, he's been out with a left calf contusions, you know. Yeah, that's just something that they're not playing about, and that's why he just hasn't been playing recently. Next is Matisse Thybulle, who's been dealing with injuries all year as well, dealing with right knee injuries and a left thumb ligament tear, which he teared in the beginning of the year, but he's back now and he should be good. To cap it off, we'll be talking about Damian Lillard, who obviously just, you know, tore his Achilles, and yeah, I can't believe he won that 3-point contest, man. That is pretty funny. But yeah, obviously he will be out for the playoffs. Next team we'll talk about finally will be the Clippers. We'll start off with Darius Garland. Now this guy, yeah, even since the Cavs, like he's been dealing with like a left toe injury, like so much. It's always his toe that's been just nagging him for the majority of the season. I mean, he is pretty much playing a good amount of minutes, but that's just something I don't think he's 100% when it comes to playing. And that will definitely show up come playoff time. Next guy we'll talk about is Isaiah Jackson, one of the big men for the Clippers. As of lately, he's been dealing with a right ankle sprain. So he's been getting DNPs as of recently. But if they do make the playoffs, I think he does come back for sure. But until then, yeah, this is what they're dealing with. And who knows if he'll play in the play-in. Next we'll talk about is their other center who is a rookie, is Yannick Conan Niederhauser, who's been actually pretty promising for the Clippers, but you know, he's out. You know, he has a ligament tear. It's just hasn't been good. He's just not gonna play at all for the rest of the playoffs. And finally for the Clippers, we'll talk about Bradley Beal. He's out as well with a left hip fracture. He will just be out for the remainder of the season. Now the final team we'll talk about is the Golden State Warriors. We'll start off with Stephen Curry, who just recently came back from a right patellofermin pain syndrome, which sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but pretty much an injury in his right knee. Yeah, he just recently came back from that. Who knows what they'll do in the playoff, or in the play-in, as I should say, because they got to win 2 straight games to make the playoff. Is he going to be good enough to play over 30 minutes and being able to keep their season alive? I don't know. If I was Curry, I would just call it a season. Next we'll talk about is Draymond Green. Now this one isn't a major issue. It's just a couple DNPs with like a lower back injury. I think this is just him being old. It's an aging thing with Draymond, but I think he should be good. We'll go on and state the obvious with Jimmy Butler being out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL, alongside of Moses Moody, who just recently injured himself in a gruesome injury, man. Just coming back as well from an injury. Next Warrior we'll talk about is Quinnen Post, one of their centers. He's been out as of recently with a right foot injury. And yeah, in the past month, he's been getting a lot of DNPs. Next we'll talk about is Al Horford. Now this is just him dealing with age and calf injuries pretty much. You know, he's been dealing with calf injuries, been out of the lineup as of recently. Did play recently 18 minutes against Sacramento, so seems to me that he'll be okay, but something to look out for. Now last but not least, we'll talk about Kristaps Porzingis. This guy pretty much gets sick every day, ever since like this last season of Boston. And yeah, all these DNPs, it's just a sickness. It's not even injuries no more. It's literally just him being sick. But as of lately, he has been playing more and more. So yeah, that will conclude all the injuries that's pretty much going into the postseason as of right now, because I just started filming before the Sunday game started. So who knows if a major injury happens on Sunday, where I don't know why a team would be playing one of their key guys unless it's for seeding, then there it is. But as of right now, yeah, these are some concerns to be looking out for going into the playoffs. But if you really like this NBA video and you want to see more NBA content, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. I'll go ahead and predict the NBA playoffs in a couple days, so be on the lookout for that. And I appreciate you for watching to the very end. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Peace out.